pecans. Say you love blueberries. Well, we've got a perfect cake for you today. Today, making pecan blueberry white dump cake. The dessert diva Danette Randall joins us live in studio, showing us how to make this dessert. Those of us, even though you've told me, what is a dump cake?
Okay, a dump cake, we're using dump as a verb in this recipe. It's a verb. It's not like, you know, dumpy or anything like that, all right? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay, this actually is one of the simplest desserts you're ever going to do. A dump cake is more that everything is just kind of dumped in the pan.
Right.
Now, I'm making this because this was a request from Catherine from Arvada, a viewer. She wanted me to make another dump cake. I made one about a year ago, and they're very simple, and she wanted a different variation.
We do everything she asks us.
I know, Catherine from Arvada.
It's like her private TV channel.
But typically they're yellow cake, pineapple, and cherry. So we're changing it up a little bit, and you're going to see there's nothing simpler unless you just go to the bakery and buy something.
Well, let's start dumping.
Okay, let's start dumping. 350 degrees, Tom.
Okay,
350 degrees. I've got a 9 by 13-inch pan with a little bit of butter in it.
Butter?
Now, it's nice to use a glass baking dish. I did not have another one, but I think the glass baking dish adds to it. If you're bringing it to the potluck or, you know, something like that. But we're going to just go ahead and use this. So,
okay.
Now, what I have here is 1 can of blueberry pie filling.
Which is great for dumping.
It's so great for dumping. And Tom thought this was jelly.
I thought
That's
it was
a whole
jelly.
lot of jelly. But anyway, so we're just going to pour this into the pan.
1 can
now,
blueberry pie
1
filling.
can. Now, typically, dump cakes have 2 different types and maybe 2 cans of this, but white cake we're using is so sweet that I'm using 1 can of pie filling.
Great
and I'm
decision.
using well, Tom, thank you. I was hoping you said that.
Not as good a decision as to wear these droopy sleeves while cooking, because they're going to get into this
They're
stuff.
not. They're not going to droopy. They're not. All right, we're going to spread this around. Now, like I said, usually use 2 cans, but instead I'm using a 1.5 cups of frozen blueberries.
And they're still frozen when you put them in.
They're still frozen,
okay.
Yep. Still frozen when you put them in, and I think that cuts down just a tad bit on the sweetness.
Almost got it there on the sleeve.
It's not going to get it. All right, so we're just going to spread that around.
Okay.
Now, what I've done is used a white cake. You can use any type of cake you want. You know, feel free to experiment, but I like the blueberry and the pecans with this white cake mix. So you just buy, you know, any brand that you like.
Well, let's dump some stuff in.
So you're just going to kind of dump this in here. You might want to keep it in the bag and just kind of cut a little slit and pour. White cake mix.
This is just white cake mix? That's all it is? This is like out of a box?
You weren't listening. You were too focused on my sleeves getting in the...
But I thought it was like the usual flour and
No. Just absolute white cake mix. So you can see how sweet this is going to be.
Yes, it is.
So you're just going to spread this on like this.
Dump and spread.
Dump and spread. Now what I have here is a stick and a half, 3/4 cup of butter.
Okay.
Okay, you're just going to cut this into little pieces.
Right, and kind of spread them out a little.
Now you don't have to do that. I don't want your...
I know,
how are you going to hold your, you know...
Watching you do it is just...
Oh, I see.
Not
So we're
as
just
good
going
as
to
watching me do it.
We're going to... Well, I bought you a wet wipe, even though there was no eggs. It's the Tom Wet Wipe Special.
So you cut these into about 15, 16 little guys?
Well, you want... Because what's going to happen is when you put this in the oven, the butter is going to melt. It's going to spread onto the cake mix and help bake the cake. And, you know, because there's no liquid in this, the liquid from the blueberry underneath is going to bubble up. I could have got that for you.
That's all right.
But,
go ahead.
All right, so what I have here is a cup of chopped pecans.
Okay.
I'm just going to take this and spread these all.
So you're not really dumping these?
Well, I could.
Right.
Here. There.
I just like that.
I dumped them.
It's just
I dumped them.
Good. Just better.
Grief. All right. So now, see what you made me do? Now they're not even.
That's why you have to dump them with a certain amount of jurisdiction.
Yes, you have to have a little bit of flair with the dumping.
You own them.
All right. So we're just going to kind of spread those around.
Okay.
Now this is going to bake for 50 minutes until the top is golden. It's going to look a little bit like a cake top.
Right.
And underneath is bubbling. Take it out, and this is really good served warm, but room temperature is fine too. Vanilla ice cream. I've got a little bit of whipped cream here. Just scoop it up, slap it on the plate, put some whipped cream on, dump on some pecans to garnish, and you've got award-winning Catherine from Arvada new dump cake. Blueberry pecan. What did I call it?
I don't know, but once you threw in Catherine from Arvada, I think it became the longest thing we've ever made, at least as far as name.
I don't think so.
So the good news is we've already made one. This is what it looks like, the finished product. We're going to get to taste test it in a bit.
Lucky you.
The recipe, which is beautiful and simple, right there on the website at todedeuce.com. Click on News, then Dessert Diva, and there's other places people can read your stuff.
Boulder Weekly. And if you can't pick up the paper, you can go to boulderweekly.com.
All right. Thanks, Danette.
Thanks,
Looking forward to trying this one out. All right, coming up, we're going to take a look at 5 fad diets that might actually be dangerous to your health, and a new warning about sleep deprivation. Details coming up next. A live report. Stay with us.